Hi, my lovelies. So we're talking about trad wives today, and that is traditional wives, the best thing that ever happened to humanity. And if you want to get all the insights, all the info, make sure to watch this video to the end. To all the trad wives or even the feminists, this is a video you definitely want to watch. Life with RUZHOFF, my lovelies, inspiring you to live an empowered life. So today we're talking about the trad wife. In case you don't know what the term means, it just refers to a traditional wife. Forget feminism, forget everything you ever heard about feminism and modern wife. Just forget that, okay? Today we are zooming you back to 1800, okay? Forget you in 2024. We're talking traditional wives, aka trad wife. So, like you can see by the thumbnail, this is a very, very triggering topic for me as it is for so many other people. Reason being is a trad wife is basically someone who is a traditional wife whose main goal and purpose in life is to tend to her husband and her children, if there are any. That means her day looks something like this. She wakes up in the morning, probably an hour earlier than her husband, so she can tend to him. And tending to him means she's going to make him tea, probably lay out his clothes that he's going to wear on that day, polish his shoes, pack his lunchbox, and kiss him as he gets out of the door. And her day has just started. Because if she has kids, then she's going to prepare them for school, for nursery, or what we call kindergarten. And once she kisses them goodbye to go to school, probably she's going to also drive them there, right? Her day is still continuing. She's going to clean and cook. Forget Cardi B, I don't cook and clean. We're talking cooking and cleaning all day. She's going to make sure that her house is beautiful and lovely and welcoming and nice for her family to feel at home. Actually, there's nothing wrong about that. If that didn't mean that you have to sacrifice everything that defines you as a human being just to tend, mainly, the focus is mainly to tend to your husband. So, this being a social empowerment channel, we're going to leave jokes aside, of course, and we'll look into the cons and pros and if that is really something that makes sense or is total bollocks, is total BS, okay? I'll leave you to judge. I'll just give you the pros, the cons, give you the whole picture, and you decide. So before you even go on watching, make sure to subscribe, make sure to join our family, get your tipping hands ready to let us know what your perspective is as regards this topic. So let's go right on and have a chat. So like I said, for me, while analyzing this topic, I asked myself, is it really possible that someone's only purpose in life is to tend to someone else? And it doesn't make sense, okay? It doesn't make sense for me because, first of all, if I get married to someone, I want us to live life together, to enjoy life together. I want him or her by my side and not her mothering me. When a man marries a woman, I don't think he wants a second mother. Otherwise, he would have stayed with his mom, if you know what I mean. So I find that really, really complicated. So if you ask me, I believe being the pure, complete trad wife can be smothering for the husband, for the relationship. And much as the typical trad wives believe that by doing all that, it makes them amazing wives, I really don't think so. Because, every human being needs their space. And no person wants to be suffocated with attention and love because, anyway, you have nothing else. You have nothing better actually to do with your life other than tending to your husband's needs and being at his beck and call all the time. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's how I view a traditional wife. It is very triggering for me because, like I said, we're talking feminism, we're talking, women getting there where the men are. We talk about women voting, we talk about women rights, we talk about equal roles in the relationship, we talk about partnerships. And then here comes my traditional wife who wants to preach that your only purpose in life is to tend to others. So another danger of this kind of role, you will definitely 1,000,000% end up losing yourself. Human beings are not created to tend to other people 24/7. We are all born with a purpose. We are all born with desires. We're all born with dreams. We're all born with different hobbies. So imagine you packing all that away somewhere in the wardrobe and only having this tunnel blick and focusing on the needs, on the desires of your husband and children, if any, then who are you? What remains of you? What do you like? If your sole purpose is to plan what your husband's favorite meal is, to think the entire day, what kind of cake do my children like best? Such women, if you even take them like out, even ask them, oh, what's your favorite dish? They're going to be like, good question. Because again, whatever they do is not for them. It's always for someone else. So probably their favorite food is going to be their husband's favorite food or their children's favorite food. That way you've lost who you are. So you really, really have to ask yourself, is that the kind of life I want? Do I really want to lose myself and just be there to serve someone completely? And this is from someone who believes her life purpose in life is to serve, but serving in that way, I believe, can be very, very dangerous. Like I said, I will not make the conclusive judgment, of course. I want you to help me in the comments and we decide together. And if I'm wrong, of course, you can correct me. Again, my picture or what I've seen so far on other channels, TikTok and all that, a trans wife's sole purpose is to make sure she has a pretty face, she looks good, her hair is done when her husband comes home, she welcomes him with a smile. So that means she has no bad day, she has no bad mood, and she's not even supposed to be tired. So she's there to satisfy his needs, desires, and desires are also talking sexual and everything. So every day has to be perfect. You have to be a perfect wife, a perfect mother, a perfect lover, probably a perfect communicator. That is if he even wants to talk to you, because you have nothing to talk about. I don't think there's any man who's going to come home and will be interested in talking to you about how you spent the day baking his favorite cake. I highly doubt that. So that brings us to another danger. You're probably going to end up being lonely, feeling unfulfilled, despite being in a relationship, despite being in a marriage. You're going to feel lonely because there will be nothing much that connects you with your husband. You'll not have something to really communicate about. I can assure you 1,000,000%, no husband is interested in coming home and talking to you about baking cake and how you made his best steak or how to marinate, his favorite fish. Nada, niente. That's not going to happen. So you're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel isolated. I mean, we're talking, you're not even meeting other people with the same interest. Okay, you might meet other trad wives, but again, who is interested in talking about baking cake every day, 365 days a year? If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section. And I personally believe that marriage will not work because you not having a life, you having your entire life all around your kids, identifying your sole purpose as being to tend to other people, you and your husband will lose track because, again, he's going to be your sole purpose in life, but you're never going to be his sole purpose in life. I mean, he's the breadwinner. He has to go out there and work. So even when you complain, you're like, oh, darling, I miss you. Oh, darling, why are you coming home late? It's going to be like, someone has to bring the money home. Someone has to pay the bills. So you're going to realize that much as he's your sole purpose in life, you are definitely not his sole purpose and will never be. And such a marriage can long-term not work. He's actually going to get very bored with you. I'm 100% sure. I'm talking as a woman, but also as a human being. I don't see how I wouldn't get bored with someone who has nothing to offer other than bake and cook and clean and tell me how she bought a new cleaning detergent, how she discovered amazing saucepans that are so well in combination with our cooker. I don't get it. We talk about you dating a CEO. He wants to talk about business. He wants to talk about maybe the challenges in his job, and all you can talk about is baking cake. It's never going to work. So you're going to definitely lose, get a distance between you. You're going to lose interest in each other in the long term, because like I like to say, have more to offer than just a pretty face. Pretty fades at some point. You're no longer going to be the youngest babe around the block. You're no longer going to be the most attractive woman on that block at some point. I'm not saying when we age we become ugly, but there's always going to be someone better, someone more attractive, someone who knows how to iron her hair better, someone with longer hair, someone with a better figure. So you're always going to live a life where you're trying so hard to impress someone, so hard to make sure that you're good enough, so hard to make sure that you're still attractive for him. And it's going to exhaust you. it's probably going to make you even mentally ill, because you're always going to be asking yourself, what happens if I get 10 kilos bigger, 5 kilos bigger? Is he still going to find me attractive, or is he going to dump me? You know, you're going to ask yourself, what happens when I grow gray hair? Is he still going to love me or not? How about if, you know, so many things are going to stress you for no good reason, because again, that's all you bring to the table. That's how you define yourself, you know, and you feel that is the only good thing about you, which is very unfortunate. So definitely, whatever decision you make, if you want to be a trad wife or just a modern wife in a relationship, in an eco partnership, I hope this video helps you to make that decision. I'm not giving anyone directions or saying you must do this, you must do that, or saying this is the right thing. But like I said, it's all about social empowerment. And I hope this video helps you to make the right decision. Things that you have to keep in mind and ask yourself are, what is going to happen if my children at some point, not if, but when actually, make it to kindergarten, make it to school, university, get married, move out? What is going to remain of me? What is going to be my purpose? Or are you going to have kids like a rabbit until your last day so that you have someone to tend to? You understand? That is just a logical question that you have to ask yourself. What happens then? What happens if my husband divorces me? He's no longer interested in me, he's bored with me, he's suffocated, he doesn't want to be mothered from me anymore? What happens then? What do I do with my life? Question again for you to answer. And that can also affect your children and how you parent, because again, if you identify yourself only around your partnerships in parenthood, then you're probably going to suffocate your kids too, and you're probably not going to be an amazing parent, because you'll want your life or your children to function just to please you, just to make you fulfilled. And that is wrong. So keep in mind all those questions. Whatever decision you make, my advice would be, if you're going to be a traditional wife or you're going to be a modern traditional wife who brings more than a pretty face to the table, who is financially literate, who knows that this relationship could end, my partner could leave me, he could even die. I mean, let's not even start about divorcing you or not finding you attractive. We're talking about your partner could unfortunately die. Have you acquired skills? Have you acquired an education to help you be able to fend for your children, to fend for your family, to pay the rent, to pay the mortgage, to fuel the car? Those are things that you really, really have to keep in mind. Sweet and romantic as all that sounds, being a traditional wife, I'm assuming you married a millionaire, he's bought you a Lamborghini. Yeah, exactly. You're living your best life. What happens if your partner unfortunately passes? So here is my advice for you, whatever decision you make. Acquire an education while at your traditional wife role. Okay? I mean, you have plenty of time. You could do online studying. If you have a degree, acquire a master's, do a PhD, do different qualifications in line with things that you love, in things that fulfill you, in things that you desire. Maybe if at one time should you be required to put your skills to use, then, you know, at least I can get a job, I can fend for my children, I can fend for myself. If the day X comes where my husband gets tired of me or simply passes on, dies, you know, it could happen. Or I also get tired of him. Maybe you also get bored, you know, at some point, because human beings are evolving human beings. Probably today you're happily traditionally married, and then 10 years down the road, you're like, what the hell am I even doing? You're like, you feel like you're in a wrong film. So maybe you decide, nada, I don't want to be a traditional wife anymore. So what skills do you have? Where are you going to start from? So while at it, keep that in mind. Very, very important. Make sure your husband, your partner, pays you upkeep for the chores, for the roles, for the duties that you do, for the attending to him. Never be a traditional wife who has no finances of her own. I feel that is very, very important. If you ask me, there's nothing fancy about a trad wife who has to ask her husband for 20 euro, 10 euro every 2 days. Oh, I need to buy shampoo, I need to buy makeup. Oh, my lipstick is done, I need a new lipstick. It is very degrading and disrespectful to yourself. So make sure, at least if that is going to happen, he pays you upkeep, in German what we call Unterhalt, for the work that you do at home. At least that way, if anything should happen, you have some money, some finances of your own where you can start from. And also for your own dignity, like, for Christ's sake, I don't want to be asking my husband for money to buy tampons or to buy deodorant. Do you get where I'm coming from? I'm not saying you shouldn't be traditional wives. Be traditional wives all you want. Be traditional wives all day. But use some logic. Use your brain. Okay, some things just don't make sense. And then finally, I would say find hobbies, because at the beginning I talked about losing yourself. Find hobbies, stay active, make sure you stay in shape, do sports. If the finances are there, try and travel, because travel is also a form of education. I'm an ardent traveler, and I can assure you traveling is something very, very beneficial. Try to make sure that whatever you do, even with your role as a trad wife, you don't forget who you are, because you are more than just your husband. You are more than just your children. Before you got married, before you became a mom, that was you. So remember that person, remember that girl, remember that lady, and keep her in mind, and make sure, most important of all, she is happy. So my loves, as I conclude, don't forget to hit the comment section. Like I said, I always open the doors for conversation, and we continue the chat in the comment section. It's all about social empowerment. So to close it off, if being a traditional wife, trad wife, is what makes you happy, be my guest. Do you become a traditional wife? And most importantly, make sure that you're happy, because I think that's what really matters. That's what we all want out of this life. How we do it doesn't have to be similar. Everyone has the different desires and different definition of happiness. So if your definition of happiness is being a trad wife, just be a trad wife, okay? But don't lie to yourself. Make sure you are truly, really happy, okay? That is very, very important. But definitely, from my perspective, I don't believe at all, not even 0%, that any woman out there was created to fold her husband's drawers, to iron his shirts, to make his bed, to cook his breakfast, pack him his lunch, sit at home and wait for him to get back so she can start all over again and tend to him. I honestly don't think that's the reason any one of us was created. But again, your life, your choice. My lovelies, I'm here to inspire, uplift, and empower you. Until next time, bye.